The goal as a DJ is to, there's this magic that happens between the music and the dance floor, and the right song at the right moment can literally make a whole room of people fall in love. And there's magic that happens. And so there are a lot of DJs that take people on a journey, and there's a story that's being told or a tapestry that's being woven through the music, through the dance, through the conversation and the interaction between people. And so as a DJ, to be able to have that kind of authority, people have given you license to take them somewhere. And so they come to a safe space, they come to this place to have an experience, and we're the ones that help shape that experience. There's nothing like it.
You have folks that have like bohemian roots and all these different things that come to the park, all different shades of colors, right? And again, it's kind of the tie that binds, right? The music is what binds the people to come out, but then to get to watch them interact and create, positive relationships, and somebody that I might meet in the park who's a vegan, who's bohemian, who might be queer, and then I get to see them the next time that we have an event, and and it just creates this. And they want to introduce me to their friends or their fraternity brothers or sorority sisters or whatever the case may be. I mean, I think it's such a remarkable experience for me in that way.
I would say this space is a place for people to come and enjoy themselves. I think the whole idea of dance music therapy is that, life is so stressful and there's so much going on, there's so much drama in the world, to create a space where people can kind of leave that behind and just come, even for a moment, and just kind of forget all that other stuff. And as the old song says, get lost in music, right? You just kind of be in the moment, enjoy the music, enjoy the dancing, enjoy the community, and that's that safe space we wanted to provide.
My name is Terrance.
My name is Mikki.
My name is Kamau.
And
we're Dance Music Therapy. I can remember my first memory of being aware of what a DJ was. I went to a dance, I think I was in junior high school, so this is probably like the early 80s, and back then they were still calling things disco, so it was called a disco. And so I remember going to, that's old, right? I remember going to this disco, and everybody else was dancing, but I gravitated toward the DJ table because I had never seen that live before. And I'll never forget it. The DJ didn't have headphones. He had like an old telephone receiver that he was using to cue up the music, and I would just watch. I was just watch for hours, this person DJ. I didn't dance, I didn't do anything, I watched the DJ. And then I officially got into DJing my freshman year of college. A buddy of mine that I kind of grew up with wound up living next door to me in my dorm, and he was always a music person, and he had a DJ mixer. And he's like, hey, you want this DJ mixer? So I was like, sure. I already had one turntable already, because that's just how you listen to music. Back then was everybody had a record player, so I was like, nah, I need a second one. So I got a second record player, not realizing that you needed to have all these other fancy things on the turntable. But so that was 1988 when I first kind of started learning how to DJ, and I would be in class in college, instead of listening to what was going on, thinking about, when I leave here, I'm gonna go home and I'm gonna mix this song, and then I'm gonna do this song. And I was already working stuff out in my head, and just couldn't wait to get out of class and run back to my dorm room and like make a mixtape. And so I've been doing it kind of off and on since '88.
I started when I was 13. A friend of mine who lived on the rich side of town, his mother was a principal and his father owned like a bunch of properties or something. And so one summer he talked to his dad and told his dad he wanted 2 turntables and a realistic mixer with a crossfader. And so his dad took him to Chicago, bought him 2 Technique 1200s, a whole crate of records, and a realistic mixer with a crossfader. And he called me and he said, "Hey man, you're not gonna believe what my dad just bought me." And this was before cell phones, so he couldn't take a picture or a video and show me. So I had to talk to my mom, and we had to come up and concoct a story that would get me to spend the night at his house for that weekend. And so I went over there that Friday night, and I was hooked. I was hooked. We literally played records from, I'd say 6 or 7 o'clock that night to probably 5 or 6 that next morning, nonstop. And I was hooked. We practiced and played so much that we were invited to play for our school dance that year. And so that was my first paying gig. I think I got like $15 or something like that. I thought I was big stuff, you know. And so on and off throughout the years, you know, I would play here and there, and I didn't really get back into it until about, I don't know, maybe 10, 12 years ago on a regular basis. But yeah, I think like Mick, I've always been mixing songs in my head. And so when you go to an event, like if you go to a wedding reception and you're listening to the DJ, you're real critical. You're super critical. Yeah, that transition was horrible, you know. Or, man, that wasn't bad. I might have to use that one myself, you know. So you're always listening. You're always listening. I'm not sure about them, but I literally listen to music probably 7 to 8 hours a day. At some point throughout my day, it starts in the morning, get me going. I'm listening to stuff all throughout the day. When I get home, kind of relax and wind down. So it's a part of who we are.
There was one time Terrance was actually playing online, and I watched his set. This is a true story. And I watched his set while he was playing online.
Before we met.
This is before I even knew who he was. And he played a Luther Vandross track. Like that's the only way that I could think to respond to it. It moved me so much. I rewound this video of him. I couldn't tell you how many times. And it had little to do with him. It was the track, right? And so what's so gorgeous about that is that you're moving people without at times even knowing how impactful you are, because you're the responsible vessel to do that. And so when I met him, I told him this story. I'm like, man, I've stalked you online for the last 3 months, and it was just crazy, right? And then it created this real dynamic relationship between the two of us. But he moved me that much, in just that one small experience.
I would say dance music therapy, I don't know, it's just it's a space for people to come and dance and listen to music. I would say I got the idea when I moved here to the area in 2014 from New York City. A big part of what I did there was to spend time at the park and at dance clubs listening to music that I enjoyed. And when I got here, I asked if there was something like this that was happening, and there wasn't anything like that. And so we kind of pulled some resources together. We did some work with the change makers, and they kind of helped us pull it together. And we did our first one in the summer of 2016, and we've been going ever since.
Yeah, I think what makes it a really phenomenal experience as somebody who's on the other coin, looking at the community that comes out to enjoy it, is it's so eclectic. There's such an array of different music for different people. And so what's really awesome is to watch how people appreciate the music, right? Enjoy these safe spaces, enjoy one another, and enjoy fellowshipping, and then getting to hear something that they might never listen to before, right? And music is so therapeutic, and it's so healing, it's so nostalgic, and so it's awesome to be able to give that gift to people. What was crazy about the first time that these African drums showed up, I didn't know they were coming. I had no idea. And so we're doing setup and doing sound check, and get all the equipment set up, and then I don't think Terrance was there yet, but Kamau was like, hey Mick, you know, one of my buddies is gonna come out and set up some drums or whatever. I didn't, you know, but I don't know what that means, but whatever. Because you're thinking like, okay, well, how are they gonna set up drums over the top of this really? Because our music is loud. I mean, the speaker system is, you know, is pretty good. And so it's like, how are they gonna play drums over the top of music that nobody's really gonna hear them? Are we gonna take a break to fit them in? Like, you know. And so this like homogenous relationship between the drums and the music that was actually playing transpired. And it was really dope to watch, because the gentleman started playing the drums, and then all these kids and all these people that had all these other drums laying around just jumped in and started playing, and they were playing with the music, you know? So it was this whole ebb and flow relationship that was transpiring with the crowd, that was transpiring with the DJs. And then so I remember being at the table like, okay, I need to play a track that has a really dope drum beat on it.
We play music that they're passionate about. Like, so it's like if you're not feeling what you're playing, I think I heard legendary DJ Nikki Ciano say, if you're not feeling what you're playing, then other people aren't gonna feel you. And so when I play music, I play a song like I feel. I can't just play music just to kind of play it. Like, I have to play something that really moves me, and so that's what I try to share with other people.
I think ultimately what my dream for this would be Chicago has the Chosen Few Festival, music festival. It's a 2-day house music festival where they bring in the actual artists who sing the songs and play the songs and created the songs that we play. And so they do that over 2 days, and there's what, 100, 200,000 people, if not more. It's huge. People travel from overseas for that experience. I would love to see a house music festival in Urbana.
I want to grow the DMT. It's bubbling, it's waiting to explode. And I mean, I think that there's some measures that we can put in place to help that transpire, but it's there. I mean, it is like when you come and you watch the people, you're like, man, if you could just grab a couple hundred extra people and give them this gift for the weekend, like it would set their week, you know, it would set their week off in the right way. And so, and whether they come for 2 hours or whether they come for 10 hours, you know, I mean, we're going to be out there doing what we do. And so that to me is the glory. And I would love to be able to, you know, take this small nugget that, you know, Kamau kind of started, and we, you know, Terrance and I have both had an opportunity to join in on and like blow it up.
To get involved and support the Urbana Public Arts program, please contact the Public Arts Coordinator Rachel Storm at rlstorm@urbanaillinois.us or 217-328-8265.